Thank you everyone for watching, joining us, the IBDSuperHeroes team, for today's conversation about fatigue and IBD. So we wanted to talk about fatigue because it's one of the things that seems to disrupt most people's lives with IBD. We see it a lot in the IBDSuperHeroes Facebook group. Fatigue is not the same as being tired. It's not like you've overexerted yourself or you've just not had a very good night's sleep. It can be completely debilitating. And that's one of the things I think that we find most frustrating, because people say well-meaning comments like get a good night's sleep, and it just ends up winding us up, because if we could, we would, and it doesn't help. So yeah, taking a nap might seem like good advice, not so much. And it kind of makes you feel like they're saying that you're not trying to help yourself enough. So it's kind of your fault, which, you know, it's not. And it's hard to deal with that and not snap at people that say such things. And I guess it's just another one of those things that is part of the invisible illness that is IBD. So it's hard to get people to understand how debilitating it actually is. So maybe this video will be a good resource to share and educate people. We all experience fatigue as a collective, and that's why we're all taking part today. So I think with many things IBD, everybody experiences it a little bit differently. For me, it's not like it doesn't even present the same on a daily basis, to be honest. But at this point, I do feel like it's kind of present all of the time. So some days it's just not as extreme as others. I used to have periods of feeling pretty normal, and then fatigue would just hit me and I'd have a few days of recovery and stuff. But now I do kind of feel like it's there all of the time. I think it takes me a while to come round in the morning, and then I have a couple of hours where that's like my focus time for work, and then by 2 p.m. done. All concentration has gone, and I can't even think of words. And obviously being a blogger for a living, if you can't think of words, you can't do your job. So I have a very strict amount of time in which I can actually work. And I often find as well that I'm then too tired to even socialise, and that includes just popping on Facebook, because I'm grumpy, and I genuinely flick through and find myself thinking, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. And that's not the time to be online pretending to support people, is it? So how does fatigue feel for you, Stephen?
Oh, depends on the day.
How does fatigue feel for you today, Stephen?
Today I am just, yeah.
There are no words today.
Can't concentrate today. That's my main one.
See, but I know that you've had a really busy weekend as well, so you piled on the additional overexertion on top of what is already.
I did absolutely nothing yesterday, and I was in a bad mood because I did nothing. Because I always feel like I should do something, and I tried to do something on the computer, and my brain just wouldn't accept anything. So, and today, again, I've been trying to do something on the computer, and I can't do it because my brain just doesn't want to work.
I hear that.
So that's one of my main things, is my actual brain fog, I suppose you'd call it.
Yeah, I genuinely do think that's a massive factor for me.
And like you, it takes me 2 hours every day to wake up. I can't just wake up and get up and do something. I have to have a cup of tea, have another cup of tea, have breakfast, and it's about 1.5 hours, 2 hours later that I can actually start functioning to do something.
Yeah. But it's still never actually like, ping, I'm awake and ready.
No.
Let's go.
I don't want to go for a run.
Oh dear. So what about you, AJ? How does fatigue feel for you?
Pretty much like the same. You don't ever feel like awake. Like you kind of always feel like you could just sit and go to sleep. Whether you've had
stop too long, you will just fall asleep.
Yeah, exactly. And like whether you've had like 5 hours sleep or whether you've had 15 hours sleep, it's still just the same. There's always that little bit where it feels like I really should have more energy and be able to do stuff. And like I've said to like my consultants and stuff, like I don't ever feel like that. And they've checked stuff like, oh, it's just the fatigue. Like, no, it's not just
That's it,
fatigue.
isn't it? It's a really
It's not
hard
just
thing,
fatigue
because
to
there's
me.
no-
It's like, it's annoying, like, because I'm in remission, but I've still got fatigue. And it's just like, seriously? Like, I'd rather have
That's it,
pain.
isn't
I
it?
know it
Because they
sounds
look for
really, really
things, and
stupid.
there are always things that it could be. Like, they always check your thyroids, and they always check your vitamin
Yeah.
D, and they're always doing your B12 and stuff. And it's weird that you hope there is something wrong, because
Yeah,
then
no,
they
exactly.
may be able to fix it.
Yeah,
I,
because
I,
like
I
I
think
said,
that's I think that's what people don't understand. You're in remission, but you can still get fatigue. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at
That's
all.
it, isn't it? It's all these extra intestinal manifestations. You kind of think, but even me as a patient thinks I'm in remission. So give me my remission. What I think remission should be like. Give me all the energy.
Exactly. And it's just like, as I said, that I'd almost rather have like pain, because at least then you can take painkillers or get a hot water bottle, and it'll
You do
eventually
kind of get used
ease.
to working ways
But-
around, but you can't with fatigue sometimes. You don't
No,
really.
you
have
just
to.
got to go with it and do what you can.
How does fatigue feel for you, Roger?
I just feel so useless, absolutely useless, battered. I've just had 3 days at Alton Park, and today I've hardly done anything, but I am proper zonked. And now you can't start beating yourself up, like Stephen just said. You know, you should be doing this, you could be doing that, and you just have no energy to do nothing, do you?
It sucks.
Yeah.
Annie,
As
how
AJ
about
said,
you? Oh, sorry.
yeah. As AJ said, you know, for pain, it's easy. You take painkillers, hot water bottles. With fatigue, I've had Crohn's disease for a little while now, and there's nothing you can do for fatigue. You just got to ride it out, haven't you?
I've even looked at like complementary alternative therapy, burning sage and all kinds of weird crap. And I've been that desperate that I have tried. There was a weird like energy diet that I had very high hopes for, and then was miserable because I felt like I was being so actively involved in trying to get rid of it that it wasn't fair, that it wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Annie, how about you?
No, I agree with everyone. I think you get to that point where you feel like you're in pilot mode rather than actually actively doing anything, that you feel like everything's kind of a dream. Like, you know, you wake up in the middle of the night and you go and have a wee, and you have that dream that you need a wee, so you go and have a wee. That's what life is like 24/7 with fatigue. It's like you literally feel like life's a dream, and you're just going it through the motions, and you're just doing what you need to do just to get through the day. And you think, maybe I just need some food, maybe I just need more tea or more coffee or something like that. So you get through the coffee and you feel okay for about 5 minutes, and then the fatigue hits you again. And you're just like, and at work when people are talking to me and asking for stuff, I just keep going, what? What is it you want again?
It's just the noise.
You asked me for something, I'm sure you did, but it's gone right over my head. Or like you're in the middle of a conversation and you just realize you've zoned out, and you're just like, I'm so sorry, I didn't listen to a word you just said.
It's
Oh,
so
and you
hard.
go to bed at the end of the night and you just want to watch a film or a program, and you sit there and you realize that you're half an hour in and you don't know a thing that's happened.
Yeah.
So then you feel like you've got to
All the
rewind
time.
to the front, and you're just like going through, you're just like, I'm still not watching, I'm just gonna go to sleep.
There have been a few times like lately actually where I've been trying to watch a film and I'm like, I don't know if, what did I miss? And I will ask. And then Leah'll look at me like she's not been paying attention, or she's been daydreaming about something else. And I might have been, but I can't even tell you what I was daydreaming about to distract me.
And you know what's weird? Like, I started getting poor, and if you look at like my old school records when I was like reception to year 6, it all says that I was a huge daydreamer. So it's like I've been daydreaming since like I could walk. I'm a good daydreamer, and I can still get along with my day-to-day life. I might be zoned out, but I can still move through the motions. It's fine. We're all good actors and actresses, I think, with this illness.
There are sometimes things that like I've done in advance or prepared in advance, or like you say, you've just got through, and then I'm like, I don't even remember doing that. But you are so on autopilot for so much of your life. You do just get on with some stuff, and then you're like, I often go to do something, and then I'm like, I did that. When did I do that?
How many times have you like taken your tablets and then 5 minutes later you go, oh, I need to take my tablets, and then you look and you go, when did I take them?
Yeah.
That's why I need
I
my
must
box,
have, because
the
gone.
amount of time before I had like my pill box, I'd like take my tablets and then I'd be like, I need to take my tablets, and then I'd accidentally overdose with an extra dose, and then I'm like, actually I did take my tablets, I've taken them twice now.
Yeah, you realise when you feel like you're going to vomit and you're really high, or you start sweating, that maybe I took them twice. But then you seem to have the memory of taking them both times, and you're like, well, that's great giving that to me now.
Yeah. You go in a room to do something and then you sit down and you're like, oh, I need to do this, and then you go, I've moved it, I've done it, it's fine.
I know Stephen was laughing when he came here before we did the charity walk at just how I managed to get my steps up in a day is by running from one room to the other, because I was supposed to be doing that, then I was doing that, and then I've gone back and I haven't done that, and it's here, there and everywhere, and half the time you know you go into a room and you're like, why am I here? And as soon as you've gone back to sit down, you know why you were in there, and then you're like, I'll give it 5 minutes, and then it's gone. Poof. Sometimes it doesn't get done. I love life.
That's why I think a routine is really, really good, because even if you fatigue, you can just go through the motions.
And things will still get done.
Yeah.
In theory. They might get done wrong. I mean, my milk did turn up in my coffee cupboard the other day, which I went to get the milk and I was like, I don't remember Lee drinking all the milk before I left for work this morning. When did he even have time to do that? And I went to get the coffee and I was like, there is the milk.
I accidentally scraped my food in the sink and then put the cutlery in the bin.
That's my one, trying to put stuff in the bin that should be going in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
To put my plates in it instead of going to the dishwasher.
You finish your food and you're just like, right, I'll scrape that, do that, and then I'll realise that the food's in the sink. And I'm like, I've put the cutlery in the bin.
Again.
Let's just get those out and wash them. It's fine. We'll pretend it didn't happen. I found my keys in the fridge as well once. I don't know how I did that.
Oh, that's Lady's having a moment. It's like when my bleach turned up in the fridge and I knew I'd unpacked all the shopping. Then I went to bleach the toilet or something, and I was like, well, where's the bleach? Because I swear I remember buying it, and then later I opened the fridge door and I was like, of course that's where you'd put bleach. Chilled bleach.
You do feel like you spend a lot of your time insane.
But you do laugh at yourself, but you know for me there's definitely an undercurrent of just being annoyed and being slightly concerned that one day I might do something stupidly dangerous rather than just stupid and laughable.
You've got to laugh at yourself, don't you? If you don't laugh, you'll cry.
Yeah, exactly.
There's definitely that. So I know I mentioned earlier that I often feel like I don't actually have the will or energy to actually talk to people and be social, but it's definitely impacted other areas of my life, like with work and stuff. Reading, I like reading. I used to read a lot, but I just don't have the attention span for reading now.
Because you end up reading the same sentence over and over and over and over again.
And still not even absorbing what that one sentence said.
Yeah, I've done that as well. I go through stages where I'll read like 2 books in like a couple of days, and then I'm like, I can't read anymore. And then I'll go like a year without reading, and then I'll go through books again, and I'm just like, for God's sake, I will do this.
I will get through a book. Well, I started a gardening book, but at least that's something that like I don't need to remember what the last chapter was, so I can just pick it up and put it down and look for little bits that I want when I want them. I struggled with work as well, which is why I ended up going freelance in the first place, because you can't look for a job and tell people that I can't work past 2 p.m. because I can't concentrate after that. Yeah, good luck finding that job. So going freelance was me trying to take a little bit of control back over my work-life balance. So has fatigue stopped you doing anything or affected an area of your life so much that you've had to adapt it? AJ?
Probably the same as you, like work. Like right now I do like 4 on 4 off, which like 12-hour shift, which by day sort of 3, like everyone, even like people that have not got IBD, we're all like sitting messaging each other on Teams, like, right, day 3, like we call it like day 3 brain. It's like day 3 brains kicked in. We need to like kind of get each other through the day. But before that I was like part-time, but I found that working like 5 days in a row, even part-time, by like sort of day 5 you're just completely done. So I really find like the 4 on 4 off helps, because like the 4 days off, if I need to, I can just do like
I guess that
nothing.
helps you get through as well. Like when you're on day 3 or day 4, like I can do this because
Yeah.
I have 4 days off. 2 of those can be
Exactly.
complete recovery days, and then a day in between to actually
Exactly.
do and enjoy things.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it is only like one of those days, maybe you do something like the second day, you've still then got 2 days to
Yeah.
recover if you need to, and then get ready to go back to work, and then you've still done something with your days off.
Because I guess with 5 days, I bet you were spending like the whole 2 days just lying down recovering anyway.
Yeah, exactly. You're wasting like basically 2 days, because it's like you're like,
And then
like
if all you do
first
is
day, you're,
work, like
first
what
day,
kind of life is that?
exactly. The first day you're like sleeping or whatever, and then the second day you're like, right, okay, what's the point in even trying to do something, because I'm just going to be tired for work tomorrow. So it's like, it really works for me. It won't for some people, which I get, but for me it does.
That's it. You've got to find your own balance, haven't you?
Exactly. It's got to do what works for you, and it's not going to be the same for everyone. It's not one size fits all. The same with like medication and whatever.
Yeah.
So
I did see if somebody posted the other day about what do people do for work now they've got IBD, and I'm like, just like everything with IBD, isn't it? There's no blanket rule, unfortunately, because wouldn't we love one?
exactly.
Roger, how about your fatigue? Is there any particular area in your life that it's made you adapt, or?
Yeah, well, with me, I worked in retail the best part of my working life, which was obviously very physical as a butcher. Eventually, it done me over. I had to kind of take a lower paid job, putting stuff on a shelf, and I had a bit of quite a period of ill health. Then they reduced my hours to 4 hours a day instead of 8. And then from there, I was even struggling with 4 hours work a day. Fortunately, we were in a position where I could give up work, and I've obviously now I've stopped work 3 years ago. Although fatigue still batters me, I don't feel under any pressure now, which is a lot different from actually working. You know, if I don't do nothing like today, it's not a big issue. I mean, with me, phoning up when you're in the butchery trade, phoning up your employer, your manager at 4:30 in the morning saying, I can't come in today because I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
You know, you're not just letting yourself down, it's the whole team. And, you know, that pressure has been lifted off me, and I feel a lot easier. But as I say, if I was to have to work now, I would struggle. I really, really would. You know, it's just lucky, you know, I'm in a position that I am.
I feel so sad, you know, when we talk about it. Like, this is not fair, is
know,
it? When it's me, I'm not so bothered. When it's you guys, I'm like, this is not right. Beth,
Yeah.
what have you got to say about fatigue?
Yeah.
Well, my mum sleeps a lot, so I sleep a lot, and we have cuddles. We have lots of sleepy bedtime cuddles.
I mean, I don't miss work, but I do miss the camaraderie of work.
Yeah.
You know, when you're with your pals, having your lunch break, one thing and another. Then obviously coming home of a night, you talk to Kelly about your work day, and, you know, I've lost all that as well, you know.
I feel like you've got more to talk about when you're working than
That's
when
it,
you're not.
yeah.
Totally get that. How about you, Annie? Adaptations, different areas of life, it bothers?
I think for me, it helps having the Wednesday and the Saturday off, because that I like 2 days break, 3 days break. Like, I don't have a 5-day work and then 2 days off, because I think then I'd be too tired to go back on a Monday. Yeah, for me, I end up just being asleep by like 8:30, 9 o'clock most nights, and like trying to get through the day. But if I get back from work and all I can do is just sit there, then that's what I'll do. Like, and you know what? I'm lucky enough that I've got a kid that will be happy just lying next to me watching rubbish on Disney Plus. We have those moments together, or Saturday nights are movie nights, and where we like, and then Sunday's cleaning day, because that's where we've got the kind of motivation to do it. And it's just,
so your life is essentially planned around the fact that you deal with fatigue then?
Yeah, like I write down lists every single day of what jobs I can do around work and what jobs need doing on certain days. So like obviously Sunday night's recycling, Sunday is like Hoover day. I do clothes washing every Wednesday on my day off. Change the beds every Saturday on my day off. Like literally, I have a list, and if I can't do it one day, it's not a big deal. Like it's fine.
That's it, isn't it? I think that's the point you have to get to, where you're not scolding yourself for
yeah, and like
it.
Corey's old enough now to help out with certain jobs compared to when he was little. And I think growing up with a parent who's ill, I don't think that people should see it as a burden on their kids. I think they should see it as the kids are growing up to be respectable, helpful, independent kids. Like I grew up with an ill mom, and I didn't turn out like horrible. Like if anything, I grew closer to my mom because of that. Like we both bonded over our illnesses and we helped each other out. And it, like me and my sister growing up, we helped around the house. We helped do certain things. If my mom couldn't do it, we'd do it for her. Like it was fine. And Corey is exactly the same. And I'm lucky to have that. I really, really am. And you know, it's like the other day I stood up and everything went black and I went dizzy, and he just went, go sit down, I'll get you a drink. There was I didn't have to ask him or nothing. He was just like, Mum, you don't look great, go and sit down. He'll tell me, he's like, Mum, you don't look great. Like he's just like, Mum, you look rubbish today, is there anything I can do? And I'm just like, thanks.
See, there are silver linings all over the place, aren't they, when you look for them? Like, how amazing is Corey? And I think, a lot of that is because you've been unwell.
Yeah, and like, even though there are days where I feel like you're gonna feel like a bad parent some days, you just like, you do.
I think everybody has mum guilt to an extent anyway, and then when obviously
it's like, I don't make promises I can't keep, so I would never promise him a day out, because if he gets to that day and I can't physically do it, then I'm not going to let him down. So I would rather just plan it in my head, not tell him about it, so that when it comes to it and we go, he's happier, than me saying, I promise you we will do this on this day. Like, I can promise a night in with a pizza, but I can't promise a day out to the theme park, because I can't guarantee I'm going to get there. So that's just one thing I'd definitely never do, is make a promise I can't keep, because I'd never want to let him down that way. But I'd rather get him excited when we turn up somewhere.
Yeah.
So there is like that kind of,
quick, Corey, get ready, we're going. I know it's 8 a.m. and I'm functioning. Go, go, go.
Yeah. So I think there is that I can't kind of plan ahead, and I can't make promises, because I'd never.
That's the whole adapting thing, that is, isn't it? Yeah.
So there is a lot we do kind of. I think for me personally, I just think there is a bright side to raising a kid with an illness, and I think with his celiac, he gets fatigued too. And it was so funny the other day, like he woke all day, Mum, I'm so fatigued today. I am just so fatigued. And I was just like,
Mummy gets you.
I get it.
Let's have a
But it's the first time we'd ever used it in a sentence. I don't know whether like he's just got to that age and he's googling celiac disease and it's like, what's the symptoms? Fatigue, and he's like, I'm fatigued. I don't know whether he's got to that stage. I don't know, but I was just like, we've got this. Let's just have a relaxing day. It's fine.
How cute. What about you,
But,
Stephen?
yeah.
Your adaptation?
Sorry?
What about you? Your adaptations?
I've sent Stephen asleep. I've made Stephen fatigued.
Stephen is fatigued.
Oh no.
Sorry, I zoned out.
The computer was making some
Oh,
noise.
Gentleman is fatigue. In real
Maybe
motion,
that
this is
should be the
fatigue.
whole video. I zoned out. Yes, IBD and fatigue. I zoned out.
I forgot where I was.
So, Stephen, what areas of your life have you adapted?
Nice, now I'll bore you to sleep, Stephen.
We've only got 4 minutes left as well, so we're going to have to click the link again, Roger. I'm very sorry.
You left to post a link somewhere I can find it. I don't know.
It's on
It's
the
on
messenger.
It's in the chat.
Facebook.
Yay.
Lol.
I honestly don't think I adapted to anything until we moved, because I was always having to work all the time. So you're in the routine of working, a lot of work long hours, and then obviously weekends you just sort of like blur. And then since we moved and I was meant to be doing part-time work, and you realise that how the hell did I used to do what I was doing?
Yeah,
Really?
I do think that actually quite regularly.
Yeah.
'Cause
For
my
me
brain-
personally, I feel less tired doing things than I do when I stop. I think once I stop, it hits me like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
But it's like at work, I'm tired when it's quiet, but when it's busy, I just get into that kind of, right, serve a customer, set up the table, take the drink, do this, do that. And I get like, it's like pilot mode all over again.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely tireder if I stop. If I start my day really slowly as well, like I have my routine where I'm supposed to get up and have a shower and do yoga and take the dogs for a walk. But I have had really bad fatigue lately and the weather's been rubbish. And sometimes you just don't feel it at all, do you? So I'd get up, not do those things, and end up spending the rest of the day more tired because I missed those bits that got me going. I think my energy flowing, going outside. Yeah, so weird that doing less makes me more tired, but
Yeah.
it genuinely
was me
seems to.
yesterday. That was me yesterday, doing nothing, just
You didn't spring out of bed and make tea, so therefore you laid down all day.
Mhm.
Yeah. Once you get up, you're up. Once you're down. That's it.
Yeah.
definitely.
It's like I can't sit and relax on a morning before work. I have to literally roll out of bed, get ready and leave, because
Yeah.
if I sat down, I might
start
not get
nodding,
it to
don't
work.
you?
I might not. I did that last week. I couldn't sleep all night because I was so tired, and I was just like, right, if my alarm's set for 6, I'm not going to make it. I'm going to sleep through my alarm. I'm not going to make it. My alarm went off at 6 and I was gone. Next thing you know, it's like 7:30. I've got to be at work for 8. And I was like, no, I'm like brushing my teeth on the drive there. And I was like, I just ran in at like 5 to 8. Like I made it. But I was just like, I don't know how I fell asleep once my alarm went off. I don't know how I did it.
Do not stop. Do not close your eyes.
Yeah. And have you ever done that with a cup of tea? You sit on the sofa and you just slowly nod off, and then
Well,
you wake
Lee'll
up to
do that,
tea
you know. He'll
everywhere.
fall asleep and I'll say, you're asleep, or were you asleep? And he'll say no, and I'm like, you were snoring, and he'll say, oh, it must have been a long blink. I know I said about making some career changes, and the majority of the time that's genuinely been like really, really helpful for me. But still, some days I'll wake up and I just can't. So I might get as far as having the shower, and then I'll sit down, and I always try to work, but then I'll find that I can't string a sentence together. And as mentioned, as a blogger, if you can't string a sentence together, you can't do your work. So, and then I tend to get a little bit stressed out about it, and I have the internal debate with myself as to whether I just go back to bed, or I have got a lot better at it lately to think, right, I am going back to bed. So I'll have a look at my diary and move things to later or to another day. Because it has to be done. Like sometimes you genuinely don't have an option, because I can sit there for the next 2 hours. It's not going to make me get any more work done, is it? So sometimes the fatigue wins, and that's definitely been the hardest thing for me to accept. I plan no end of early nights when I'm feeling really tired, but you know, life, you can't always get an early night. Sometimes that doesn't happen, or you're up and down all night, or you're in too much pain to sleep. So best laid plans and all that. So I think there's the fatigue that I'm living with anyway, and then there's always what seems like a huge sleep deficit because of one issue or another. Waking up at 4 a.m. to go to the toilet, but bright light, it's summer, and then that's it, I'm awake. And then often I get out of bed and the dogs will scratch at the door, so then I'll let them out, and then the air hits me and I'm up. So yeah, the sleep deficit on top of the already pretty chronic fatigue is definitely a tough one to be dealing with. So how do you guys deal with the fatigue when it really hits, Roger?
I genuinely I don't deal with it because I haven't found a way of dealing with it. So I just run with it. You know, I kind of function for about 3-4 hours, 5 max, and then I have to nap. I have to sleep like an hour and a half.
You do have a daily nap, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah. As I say, I've been at Alton Park for 3 days, and because I haven't had that middle bit where it's like half-time change ends,
yeah,
you know, it's absolutely done me in. As I say, I've barely done anything today. I feel guilty, but you know, I've had 3 cracking days, you know, and I'm taking it on the. I'm not going to do nothing. I probably won't do very much. Hello, Corey. I lost my train of thought now. Yeah, I just kind of run with it, you know.
Or lay down with it.
Or lay down with it, yeah. As I say, I haven't found anything that would, you know, help me. You know, I've tried diets, shakes, you name it. There's so many people. I mean, you go on Instagram and somebody sort of wants to send you some great living venture or whatever it is, you know, eat this, suck that, swallow this, drink this. None of it works. I've tried diets, everything, and I haven't found anything to stop or combat fatigue. Genuinely,
but at least your little afternoon nap does at least take the edge off enough to bedtime.
Yeah.
Annie, how do you deal with fatigue?
Just don't do, yeah, like
You don't, no.
yeah, like I said earlier, I think for me it's better for me to keep moving rather than still, because once I'm down, I'm out. And I think sometimes for me, and that makes me sometimes feel worse.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I'm the same. To have a nap,
you wake up,
disagree,
and you feel like you're not quite awake until you go to bed. Like it depends on what time the nap is as well. Like,
yeah.
And then if you accidentally fall asleep at like 5 p.m. or 6 p.m, I can't sleep then on the night until like 3 o'clock in the morning. But at the same time, occasionally it does help. But 9 times out of 10, if I do fall asleep, I end up feeling not with it at all until I go to bed. I just don't feel part of anything. I'm just like,
you just wake up with like a really fuzzy head. But sometimes I genuinely do find that if I have like a 20-minute like power nap, then it might help a little bit. But then other times it really doesn't help, and like you say, you'd feel a lot worse for it. And I completely agree that the time of the day is a massive impact as well. Like if it's gone,
you understand, like some days you can't help it. Like I've fell asleep sat up so many times. I'd sit down and 1 second I'm there, the next I'm like this, and I can't breathe, and there's like I'm snoring because I physically cannot breathe,
drooling all down the chest.
Yeah.
And like I'm literally just like, I don't know, and then I'll open my eyes and I'm like, I don't know how I've done that. And I'm so uncomfortable, my neck will hurt, my back will hurt, and I'm just like, I don't know what I did there. Or I've fallen asleep like
Mumbling.
this and then I can't feel my hand and I'm just like, I can't do this. But yeah, sometimes you can't physically help it because you'll sit down for a second just to sit down and you are gone.
That's
Gone.
usually me weekday afternoons. I sit down and then gone. And if I'm disturbed, I'll wake up in a bad mood.
Yeah.
And
There's genuinely many times when like Lee's walked in, the dogs are barking, and he comes in, and I know he's like, it is a hi honey, I'm home, give you a kiss, and I'm like, and what I'm thinking in my head is, why are you here? And I don't even know what time it is. Like, it could be 5 o'clock, and that's why he's here. But I genuinely do just feel like I haven't come round yet.
You get angry at the animals, like you're just about to fall asleep or something, and then the animals need a wee, and you're just like, no.
Oh, it's the postman.
Yeah.
Go away. You don't want any mail today.
I was almost asleep.
But that's even more angering when you're almost asleep. It was so close, but then it was snatched away.
Yeah. Something
That's the worst.
happens. It is annoying.
So I'm pretty sure you just agree with what Annie said, Stephen, but do you have any way of dealing with fatigue?
No, you just power on. That's what you do. You just power on.
Until it makes you stop.
It's almost like you don't want to accept it. You just want to keep going because you think this isn't me. It is you. It's part of me now. It's part of me, but I just don't want to accept it. You know.
It's so easy, isn't it, to think about what you could do before and then feel a little bit robbed.
Yeah, agreed.
AJ, are you also not dealing with fatigue, or do you have any little tips or tricks?
I wish I had tips. No, I think it's just I've kind of learned to listen to my body.
Yeah.
And like you always say, rest, because I know you always get on at me for that. So, but like, no, I have
the
learned
worst at that though, and then never rest yourself.
Yeah, no, it's like I've learned
say do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly. But no, I've learned to, like, if I can do something, do it, but try and not feel guilty. And a bit like Annie said, don't tell someone that you can do something. Like,
yeah,
I like to know what I'm doing, but sometimes, like Annie said, like days out, whatever, just see how you feel on that day. And if you can go and do like a load of washing and that's all you can do for the day, then that's it. Or if you can go a drive for half an hour, walk around the park for half an hour, and then that's it. Then do it.
Exactly.
There's not been any magic. I wish there was, because I think we all do. But it's one of the most frustrating ones. Because whereas like the pain, you can people can see it physically on you. Whereas fatigue, they just think you're being lazy. Just get up and do it. Whereas sometimes
it is a hard one, isn't it?
Actually,
it does make you feel lazy.
You can't get up and do it.
I think the worst thing to accept with fatigue is like growing up and you like want to be these things when you're older and you want to do this when you're older, and then it comes to being older and you get even more tired and all those plans that you had are gone and all those career paths that you wanted are gone and everything that you ever wanted to do in your life is gone. And it's like, I think that's the hardest to accept.
It is difficult to accept, isn't it? That's for sure.
It is.
Well, I hope at least this video goes somewhere to showing other people that we get it, because it's you can often feel really alone in it, like it's literally just you, and then it feels even more unfair and even heavier because you're carrying it on your own. So I mean, as sad as I am for you guys, I'm glad you get it.
Yeah.
No, I think I want to like when I was first diagnosed, like I didn't know anybody. Like I'd heard of Crohn's, and I knew one person who was basically a family member, but that was it. And then online I've got like all you guys and everyone else that I've met, and like you just said, like it's good to have people that get it, because then you can talk to them when you need
There's
to.
like literally nothing I would like more than to have an algorithm that predicts that certain activities will impact my fatigue in a certain way. So like I know I know that socializing actually really exhausts me, like on a mental scale. So I wouldn't try and do more than 2 social activities in a week, and I know that. But it's not just the physical, is it, either? So the physical aspect might be that I want to go to the zoo and I'm going to accept that that is going to tire me out. But where's the algorithm that says if you rest for 2 days in advance, you go to the zoo and then you need a day resting after that? And that would be amazing, because at least I'd know where I am. But I might go to the zoo, and last time it took 1 day to recover, but this time it's going to take 5 days to recover.
Yeah.
And that's such a hard thing to deal with. So I might wake up the next day feeling like I've got absolute like lead weights on my legs and candy floss in my head. And
It's like, for me, like we always have a family holiday every year. We go to Dawlish with a caravan, and there's always these days out booked for every single day. And then you have a wash day. And I love my family. I love spending time with them, and I love that holiday. But I finish the holiday and I feel like I need a holiday to relax from the holiday. Like, you've got like my niece and my nephew, who are obviously like very young and full of energy, and then we've got these days out every single day, as well as we go to the club on a night where we're like, they've always got the shows and stuff. So you literally have a jam-packed day from like AM to PM all week, 7 days a week.
Thinking about it.
And honestly, I leave there and I feel like I just want to sleep for a week solid. And
I mean, I'm bad at it. When I go on holiday, I do tend to, I'm going somewhere new, so I want to experience it. I want to experience local food. I want to go places that are around me. So I'm really guilty of it myself to try and cram everything in. And it's actually normally Lee that's like, we need a rest day.
Yeah, that's good. It's good that he gets it.
we have a
I
rest
think
day
I'll
where
rest when I get home. Let's experience Cornwall, Italy.
And you know what? Our rest day is the day that we go to the laundrette and catch up on washing. So even the rest day isn't a rest day. And it's just like, and even when it rains, even if we have like a rain day, then we're playing games in the caravan all day. And then we have to go to the club still on the night, where the kids love to dance and sing and meet like the big like mascots and that. And you just, it's exhausting. And I'm just like, I love it. At the time, I love it. But when I go home, I feel like,
at the end of the week.
yeah, and then you just go and lie down and you're just like, I can't move. This is really tiring.
Well, some things are worth it, aren't they? That's the thing. Like I know, I 100% know that if I go to Alton Towers and stand in the queues all day, or if I go out in the garden for a few too many hours, and I know when I'm doing it, you're going to pay for this. And I have to weigh it up in my head as to whether it's worth it. And then sometimes it is, but it's definitely the unpredictability of it. Like, I don't know how much I'm going to pay for it. So for me, the unpredictability, not having this calculation that tells me exactly how much to rest for in advance and how long I'm going to need after, that is the very worst part about fatigue. So now I want to know what your worst part about fatigue is, Annie.
Go. Okay. Yeah, I think the worst part was my life not being now where I want it to be. I think I went to uni, I danced for such a long time. I've got a degree in dance, and what am I doing with it? I can't. I'm too tired. And it's like I'm 30 and I feel like I don't really have anything now. I don't feel like I am as far in my life as I want to be, even in the job I'm at now. Can I progress, or am I too tired to progress? It's just, there's the willpower behind it, but what can my body take? There's always that I want to do it in my head, but my body won't let me. And
your past experiences of feeling like some things have gone to waste, I guess that kind of impacts how you always view the future then as well. Like, I don't know if I can, or I probably can't, which is a horrible mindset to be in. And I'd like to say it's not one we should be in, but there is some realistic element that you've got to keep.
There's just so much that you feel like you've missed out on in your life, and there's just so much that you feel like you want to do, and you're just like, I can't do it. And it's just like, it feels like you're not, this isn't your body in a way, like your mind and your body are two different, are working against you all the time, because it's just like, in your head you're determined, in your head you're just like, I want to do this, but then your body's like screaming at you like, no. And then if you try and push yourself, you've got to pay for it days later, and it's just like, oh, it can get so hard, and it can get so depressing. Like, this is why I think most people with chronic illnesses have depression, because it's a constant fight, it's a constant battle. It's easy to feel constantly sad that you cannot do things in life. It's very easy to do, and
I think a lot of people
there's
probably
no
think
much
that we lack
more.
motivation, but it's not
Yeah,
that we lack
and we
motivation,
don't.
it's that I can't. I
And
will
it's-
try, and I'll try, but I might not be able to, and that's what you have to
It's
accept.
very
It's
easy
not
for
a nice
us
thing.
to criticize ourselves more than other people criticize us. We are our
Yeah.
biggest ever critics, because we punish ourselves more than anybody else punishes us, and our body punishes us more than anybody else ever could. So it's like, people can say stuff and people can whatever, but we're already punishing ourselves inside for not being able to do what you're asking us to do. Like,
Yeah. No,
nobody
I'm
can put
suitably
us down
miserable.
more than ourselves.
Thank you.
Yeah. I already feel rubbish about what you're asking me to do, and I cannot do it. It's like when you cancel on someone
Yeah.
and they try and make you feel guilty, and you're just like, I already feel guilty. I already feel terrible. I'm going to feel terrible for the next week that I feel terrible. But here we go. I think that's the hardest thing to deal with it. The fact that it's very easy for us to be sad.
I am sad now. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Stephen, what's the worst bit?
I'm a
about
happy
fatigue for
person,
you?
really, I promise.
Honestly, I am. Stephen, the worst bit about fatigue for you?
Touched on it before, but it's the brain fog. Not being able to do simple things some days because your brain just doesn't let you.
And I guess there's another element again of like what you said earlier, like where you're thinking, this isn't me. So, and you feel like you should be able to do better, but you can't.
But it's not. It's simple tasks that you could normally do with your eyes closed, and you try and do it, and you just can't do it, and then you try. But why? Why can't I do it? And your brain is just so full of cotton wool. It's the best way of describing it is cotton wool.
It does feel like there's cotton wool between, like there should be some electronic things going between each other, but there's wool there, like slowing them down or stopping them altogether.
Yeah, but that's definitely the worst. Definitely the worst.
What about you, AJ? What's the worst part of you?
I think the fact that like there's nothing that can fix it, like going for a nap or like, and they're not being, although like we've got a chronic illness, there's not really like anything apart from, oh, it's the Crohn's that's causing fatigue. It's like, right, well, okay, so you can fix the pain, you can give someone a stomach bag, or you can give them medication to put them in remission, but what about the fatigue? Like, we just kind of that we need to get on with it, and I always have just got on with it, and you just have to, because well, what other choice do you have? It's like you can't. The disease is already taken so much from all of us, so it's like, right, it's fatigue. Just need to go on with it and do what we can, get around it.
Roger, what's the worst bit for you?
Acceptance, not just on my behalf, as in me accepting it, because I do struggle accepting it. It's getting other people to accept the way that you're feeling, because if you've never experienced it, a lot of the time people just don't get it. Like we said, you know, people just look at you and go lazy, bombing out on people at the last minute. No, you feel guilty lifting up the phone and saying, I can't come into work, or I've got to cancel my night out with you. You know, it's the acceptance part of it. I struggle with. Yeah.
I get that. Totally get that. So I know I've already said about me not doing what I say everybody else should do and resting quite so much, and that I might go to the zoo when I know I shouldn't, or I might spend my entire day in the garden because the sun's out, and the sun's not going to be out for the next 6 days. So I'll move all my work and I'll go outside and I'll stay there. And because the mental health benefits as well sometimes kind of outweigh how I know I'm physically and psychologically going to feel for the rest of the week. Because we need to experience joy, don't we? If we didn't do things because we didn't feel up to it, I think we'd probably not really do anything ever. So you have to do some things. I want to know what you guys do that you know will completely wipe you out, but you do it anyway. Stephen.
Everything.
End the video, cut.
Well, the one thing at the moment is all the decorating I'm doing for Leonie around the house. I mean, in all fairness, I was going to do the garden, but we're getting someone in to do that. But 10, 15 years ago, I'd have done it.
But you're going to do the nice bits though, aren't you? That's the thing. You're still going to get to go and pick your plants and do the nice bits.
I'm going to do the bits I want to do, but all the heavy work that if I did now, I'd spent an hour the other day just putting stones into a wheelbarrow and moving them, and that was me done. I couldn't do any more. I should be able to do a lot more than that. I'm not that old yet. I'm getting there, but I'm not that old yet. So it's all it is physical things, I suppose, that tire me out more.
But you're quite sensible with it, aren't you? So like you have certain days where you do certain jobs in the house and stuff. So it's all laid out for you in a little plan.
Yeah, I try, but the problem is I try and get everything done on a Monday.
Lay down for the rest of the week.
I'm trying to do the rest of the week, but that backfires because I spend Tuesday so tired after pushing myself too much on the Monday. So.
Oh dear. AJ, is there anything that you do that you know will completely wipe you out, but you just go ahead and do it anyway?
Sometimes just going to the shops, or like obviously not now, but because of COVID, but like nights out or whatever. But I'll do it because, well, I very nearly wasn't here to be able to go travelling or go to nights out or concerts or go and see you guys or whatever. So I'll be damned if I'm letting fatigue not like stop me for that. So I'll still do it.
What about you, Annie?
Work.
I hate that it's kind of a necessity, but we kind of feel like...
Yeah, like I didn't work for about 4 years, and I think I was more tired then than when I do work. And I was more depressed than when I do work. So I think mental health wise, I need it, and I do love it, and I love everyone who I work with, and I love being able to actually talk to people and meet new people, and I like meeting new people. For me, I enjoy that. I enjoy learning about other people. I enjoy talking to different customers at work. But it's also exhausting. Like, once I get home at the end of the day, I'm done. There's very little I can do in the house when I get home from work. I just want to sit. Half the time I don't.
The same actually. I end up trying to catch up with everything at the weekend. But then you lose a day of your weekend because you're catching up with the stuff that you thought in your head you might do after work bit by bit, but don't.
Yeah, like I end up doing like every like Wednesday and Saturdays, like more like a spring clean rather than clean every day because I'm exhausted when I get home from work.
Yeah, I get that. Is there anything else anybody would like to add about fatigue in general or specific to you? Anything at all?
Can you make it stop, please?
Yeah, it's a bit.
I definitely said add, not ask.
Oh,
And I
okay,
don't
sorry.
have a genie in a lamp.
That would be
No, I don't.
amazing.
Yeah. Whoever invents a cure is going to be minted.
What would the 3 wishes be? Cure IBD, cure fatigue.
And loads of money.
Oh, I wanted a bigger garden.
A big
Okay.
IBD house.
Ah, with lots of toilets. Oh, I guess that's a no. Nobody wants to add anything apart from a cure, which was more of a request.
Please and thank you.
So there you have it. That's the experience from the IBD Superheroes team. And I think that we can conclude that whilst, yes, fatigue sucks, some of us have learnt to adapt in situations and figure out what's worth taking the massive hit on energy. We've concluded that we would please like a cure. If anybody has some R&D research money, we are happy to take that. So I hope the video has been enjoyable and educational, and I hope that it helps people that are struggling with fatigue as well to feel a little bit less isolated. Thanks so much for joining us, and goodbye. This is where you all wave.